beautiful weather. It's California sun, beautiful. And it's March, everything, the flowers are nice, and it's a nice season.
Yeah, well, that's done. That's done. That image is created very so that people have a good image of them in their mind. You know.
So you stayed more than half a year at Happy Valley.
No, actually, I was just there for about 3.5 months.
3.5 months.
Yeah.
But how was your daily schedule?
Um,
How did it look like there? Because
it was horrible. In Happy Valley, where I left when I first went there, I literally slept on a wooden floor with rattlesnakes, scorpions, black widows, you name it, running rampant in a shack. And then when my wife came, I was allowed to see her once a week. I was given a mattress to stay in the same shack so that we could be together one day on the floor. And those were very, very bad times for me. And they also elevated my wife to a position where now she's over the Golden Era camera crew. They're taking her with the events. They're really making sure now that they treat her good because she's with me. But I did the RPF program. But, I was one of the most senior technical persons there. So
need you.
no, I got through their programs, whatever they said it, because I knew what they were doing. So, what
So you worked.
I worked. I got out, I got out of the RPF in about 3.5, 4 months. And then now that I'm off the RPF and I'm on the base, now they treat my wife badly. One day a security guard grabbed my wife and pushed her around, and she's very sad. And I went and beat the crap out of that security guard. So now me and her father are all on the DPF, which is one level before you go to the RPF. Basically same schedule, everything. You just don't have to wear the black. But it's the exact same thing.
At your schedule at Happy Valley. What was the schedule? You wake, or somebody wake you up at 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock in the morning, you stand in line.
Who came in? Or somebody came in, wake up? It's like in a
Yeah. Just like in a prison. Someone come in. Time to get up. Security guard.
security guard.
Yeah.
They're saying what?
Time to get up. Time to go to work. Get up. Wash up. You wash. 10 minutes. Wash, dress, and then you're outside standing in the freezing early morning in California, shaking. They do a roll call. They count you just like they do in jail. They count how many people are there, make sure no one is missing, and then you're told what you're going to do for that day. You eat a meal for 20 minutes, and then you're working until 8 o'clock until 7 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock at night.
On the Happy Valley compound.
Or at the Gilman Hot Springs compound, doing the renovations there.
The school bus, I think. That
Yeah,
you there.
the school bus bring you back and forth.
Yes.
We were under guard constantly or behind fences all the time. And the security there is quite phenomenal. They have the fences where they have ground sensors
At Happy Valley.
at
Gold.
Golden Era, where even if you walk near the fence, they know it. The lights start coming on in the complex. They have night vision cameras, night vision scopes, and they had a location. You notice there's a mountain behind there, a little hill. They had an area up there called Eagle, where someone is constantly watching over the property all the time, a security guard, and they rotated his video and everything. I know these things because I helped set up the security there. Ooh, you're talking about reaping what you sow.
But there's no way out.
No. And then they have these nice looking fences where you can't hardly see, but if you touch it, it cuts your hand. You bleed like crazy. It's like razor sharp on the top, so that if you try to come over.
There's no way out. That means it's a very nice looking prison camp.
Very nice, beautiful looking prison camp.
And how is Happy Valley secured in your time?
In my time, just by security guards.
By security guards?
Yeah.
Because
it wasn't developed yet.
There's some sensors. They put some sensors around the houses. And when somebody tries to go out in the night, the light goes on.
That's right. And then security.
Your time there?
Yeah, and then next thing you know, a guy on a bike is coming, and he's got his club, he's got his mace, and all of these things.
And what was your meals? What did you get to eat there?
Leftovers.
Leftovers.
Yes, leftovers from whatever people were eating at Gilman Hot Springs. We got leftovers of that.
That means from
Scraps. No, it should be in the trash, but it was just leftover stuff that people didn't want to eat.
the terrible conditions.
Very, very terrible. Very terrible. I lost weight. When I went there, I was nearly 200 pounds. When I got out, I was 142 pounds.
Within 3 months.
Yeah.
Did you ever recognize that somebody died under that conditions then? Or
In the group of people that I was with, no one died, but people became very ill quite regularly. I mean, incapacitated to the point where they couldn't stand up anymore. They were just laying down sick.
and how many people have been imprisoned at Happy Valley RPF?
There was about 40 people there when I was there.
Also children or
No, they had a separate RPF for the children in Los Angeles.
there's an RPF for children also?
Yes, in Los Angeles.
Do you think it's still?
Yes, of course. I heard reports of the children wearing all black, running, can't walk, everything.
Children 10 years, 8 years old?
Yes.
You saw it personally? The children RPF?
No, I was told about it though.
Mm. And how young have been the youngest inmates in the Happy Valley RPS?
I would say, 18, 19, 20.
Mm. And some people stayed longer than you, I think.
Oh yeah,
or
for sure.
years.
Sure. But that was the second time I was on the RPF.
Oh, you have been
I was,
first time.
yes.
But-
When I first got into Scientology in San Francisco, I was on staff, and then I was recruited for the SEAL organization. I came to LA. I was on the EPF. And then I started noticing things, like, oh, look at this schedule. I'm never sleeping. The food is bad. And then I told them, no, I don't want to be in the SEAL. I don't want to be in Scientology. They said, oh, no, you are here. Now, this is when they first purchased that building in Los Angeles, the blue building. That, at the time, had a fence all around it and barbed wire going in and German Shepherd dogs patrolling, because it had been just purchased. They had purchased it from whoever, Cedars or wherever. And at that point, I told them I wanted to leave, and they said no. And they escorted me up the stairs. Some big guys grabbed me, take me up the stairs, and I was under house arrest for months. Hell, no telephone, no nothing, no way to contact anyone, no way to get out. This went on for about 18 months.
Did you ever thought at that moment to kill yourself? To go away with that? Or
Well, it was extremely depressing. But then they start in with the indoctrination too. They start you in, oh, well, read the book, see, you can get better, and if you just do what we say and da. But we worked so hard on that complex that sometimes we were on a schedule where we had to work for 30 hours, then sleep 3 hours, and then work another 30 hours. And I saw people just falling over on their feet after weeks of this.
what do you know about the running program at Gold?
That was a punishment devised by L. Ron Hubbard for people that he thought had suddenly become PDH by whatever. L. Ron Hubbard became extremely paranoid in his latter days. I mean, to the point where germs is getting on him, the space aliens, retarded space aliens all over his body, on and on and on, that he figured, he said, yeah, there was this thing in space. Now, he goes off with this science fiction where he said this comes from a device similar to a maypole in space, where spirits, these disembodied spirits, BTs, circle around it until they come to their senses. So he put a big maypole in the Gilman Hot Spring location, and people had to run around it all day. And it was a punishment for people who he thought had suddenly become PDH, like all the senior executives. David Mayo, Vicky Azaran had to do it. Steve Marla had to do it. I never did it myself. But, these people had to do it.
And was it near the new golf course? Where
Yes.
it's right there. We saw it when we flew over by the helicopter. We saw the pole and we saw the big round thing around.
Right.
And this is the running for.
Yeah.
This is the punishment.
And you do it from the moment you wake up until you go to sleep.
Somebody brings you there from the RPF to there, or also from the Sea Org? Regular.
Yeah, regular, both.
That means you don't have to be an RPF inmate to do the
No.
running program.
That's right.
This could be also a punishment before the RPF.
Right.
Or it could be both.
Yeah. And you just run around the pole day and night for weeks on end.
Day and night.
Mhm.
They let you run under guarding.
Mhm.
There's a little house, I think, there where somebody is.
Yeah, little water hoses spray on you if you get too hot.
Yeah.
It's degrading. It's like cattle,
It's like cattle.
animals.
It's unbelievable. And do you know about the?
Can we take a little short break?
Yeah, we'll make it short. Okay, Baxter. Yeah, close the door. Is it closed?
Okay.
So, and what is behind the houses? Are there also containers in Happy Valley or
Yeah,
containers?
they have containers where they store hard copies of the dispatches that would regularly come from L. Ron Hubbard to all the corporations, reference copies, photo, films, the film stuff that they do there, and the files and stuff, the containers. Also, there was a bunker there. Oh, it's so crazy, like in case of nuclear attack or whatever the hell.
At gold or
Yeah, it had gold.
at gold?
Yeah, where they have all of these dry storage foods, guns everywhere.
The guns stored in the bunker.
Yeah.
Where is the bunker at gold?
I'm trying to think how I could explain it to you.
Or
No. The road, when you come up through the gate, there's a road. There's a ship here, and then there's a road. You go up the road, and then you make a left. No, it goes, and then it kind of curves around. Then you have a high place, and you got another road that goes off this way. It's on the road that goes off this way. There was. I mean, they changed the landscape so much. It's a big circle of trees, and then you go around that circle and around the back where you can never see this from the road is the bunker. And it was big enough, apparently, to handle everything, all of the people to live there, dry food. And
so where did you sleep at Happy Valley?
where? When I was
And together with
in a little shack, it was just a little shack on
near the entrance, near the watchtower, or is it more in the back?
No, but behind.
In the back behind. Is it barrack, or how would you?
Yeah, like a barrack, yeah.
Like a barrack.
Yeah.
And how many people slept in your room or in your?
Let's say 20.
In your room, in one.
It was just one room, yeah.
There's only one room.
Yeah, there's only one room.
There's only one room where all RPF.
Well, it was like a barrack. It was like a barrack split in half. One half for men, one half for women. So there's bunk beds and everything, bunk beds. Yes. We made them. We had to make our own beds so we can sleep in it. Yes.
And you had to change your beds, or it's every day the same bed?
No, every day same bed.
Everybody's the same bed.
Yeah.
That's terrible conditions, though.
Very degrading conditions. Extremely degrading.
I know about a case, Teresa. You look for
Teresa.
Happy Valley. What is this?
This is a girl that had a psychotic episode similar to what happened to Lisa McPherson.
At Happy Valley.
Well, it was at Gold because she was made to stay up day and night. And then she's getting all of this ethics because she's falling behind because she can't even hardly stay awake. And then she snapped. She got on her hands and knees, started barking like a dog, acting like animals. So out to Happy Valley she goes. And Stacey and I had to watch her until she got better.
But as an RPF image, you have been in.
Oh, this is after I was off the RPF.
That means you as a guard for her.
Yeah.
For this. And she was an inmate of the RPF, Teresa, then.
No.
Security thing.
Yeah, security thing, yes.
That means not only RPF people are at Happy Valley. It could be for other reasons.
Anything that's a security risk is at Happy Valley.
There,
yeah.
Nobody can find it, no journalists, nothing.
No, nothing. No contact, no telephones, no nothing. No TV, no nothing. No newspapers, nothing. No radio, nothing.
Nothing there.
Nothing.
There's no chance to get out, no chance to inform other people where you are.
No. No chance to get help.
It's one of the hardest prison camps, I think, in the United States.
I think so. It's like Angola or something.
It's Angola or Vietnam.
Yeah.
This is a hard
Here in America, of all places, here in America, something like that could exist. Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And still existing.
Yes.
And the government is not stopping it.
No. They've intimidated the government into submission. Scientology, something that is supposed to be a religion, something that is supposed to be a church, has intimidated the United States government to the point to submission, so that they operate now with impunity under the guise of a religion.
That's Thomas. Try to commit suicide at Gold. Seth Thomas, I think is his name. A young boy.
Seth, yes. Yeah, Seth.
What happened to him and why?
He was so depressed because he was picked on so much. You know, it's like, oh, you look funny, you act stupid, you have a low IQ, constantly every day, always in trouble, always getting ethics. He didn't want to live. His mother, Sue Price, an executive within Scientology, you know, didn't really care for him. He's just a little boy. So he's suicidal. You know, and I think part of that was he knew that would make them crazy, and that was his only salvation of getting away from that base. So he kept saying it and cutting himself and doing things.
And he finally made it?
Yeah, he did leave there.
You were in charge for RTC to also to build an RTC department in Germany. Is that right? Or
Yes.
what
A
is
representative. Just to have someone who could execute RTC orders in Munich to, you know, and look at the folders. And, you know, it actually had to do with money, in all honesty, because RTC would demand folders or let the public send their folders to RTC if they didn't think the org was doing the right thing, and then RTC charged them. When I first started in RTC, it was given an initial seed money of $2 million. When I left there, it had over 20 million.
That means you went to Germany?
Oh, yeah, many times. I was even at the Oktoberfest.
In Munich?
Yeah.
And which the RTC offices were built within an org?
Yes.
That means which orgs you put RTC offices in?
I did it in Munich. I did one in AOSHEU. I did one in the UK at the St. Hill organization. I did one in Australia.
Hamburg?
I don't think so.
It was in Hamburg.
I don't think so.
But you made a video about the org in Hamburg.
Yeah, I mean, they were going St. Hill and all of that size, you know.
And what you've done in Hamburg?
Well, you know, they were going, they had that program where to make all the orgs large, like St. Hill size orgs. So
you said hello to the org there.
Yeah.
And you want to show the people in the United States?
I think I did an event there or something, you know, I don't specifically recall.
But the main or the headquarters of Scientology was Munich at that time.
Yeah.
So and who was in charge for RTC there in Munich then?
I don't remember that person's name.
No? Löbau?
I don't remember. It's been so long now.
And especially Wipke Hansen. Did you saw her?
Victor, yeah. I saw her here in Clearwater is where I met her.
When?
She was receiving an award, and this is after I'm out of RTC, and I'm just now, you know, during that 5-year period. I was here doing an event, and I saw her getting her award for making the org big, you know, St. Hill Science.
This is the only time you met her?
Yeah.
No more. And did Miscavige or you discuss ever the situation in Germany?
No.
It's good developing because the org in Hamburg was the biggest org, which from the income here.
Yeah, no, I never discussed it. I mean, that Germany was not an issue when I was in RTC.
Mm-hmm. No issue.
No.
Never.
No.
So only Germany was one of the countries like
that was just sending money, to, you know, to the foreign accounts and
money machine.
Yeah, money machine.
It's only money machine.
That's all.
And who's looking after the accountants? How much money comes in? Is this RTC at Gold?
That was the Church of Scientology International, CSI. Would have been maybe Mike Rinder.
Mike Rinder.
Yeah. Mike Render would have been a person very concerned with that.
You had been also the head within RTC of the Secret Service.
Yes.
Yeah, that means you have been the boss of Mike Rinder and Kurt Weiland because
Oh, yes.
you are the bosses there.
Yes. Kurt Weiland was,
But
Mike Render, he was such a non-person. I never even paid attention to him. It was like he was so little, yeah.
So Oza Int is not the real head of the
Also, no.
RTC Oza. And you have been the boss of RTC
Right.
Oza.
Right.
Controlling all the activities against critics, against journalists.
Maybe not necessarily controlling, but supervising and being informed about it.
And how comes the message from operations? Who gives the orders for operations? For example,
David Miscavige micromanages everything. Yes.
he said, Jesse, I have a problem with somebody in Copenhagen or Germany, for example.
Yeah, but the main person that now there was a person that was secretly higher than me that has always been over the investigative process in Scientology, the Secret Service, which is Marty Rathbun.
He was higher.
Yeah, but never, you could never say that corporately, but he always was. He worked at ASI, Author Services. This is when David Miscavige was in ASI, L. Ron Hubbard's for-profit corporation.
Mm-hmm. So how did these kind of investigating started? That means Miscavige get every day reports.
Right. Me too.
You too. You got reports from investigating officers.
Yeah.
Like trained all of
Private.
for example, in Miami.
Yeah. No, it was on a much higher level. It would be specifically to do with legal cases too. Like I would get information regards Jerry Armstrong, what's happening with this case, what investigators are doing, what the plants are doing. The David Mayo case at the time, which was a RICO suit against him, the plants that we had sent in there, the black operations that we were doing in there. Lawrence Wallersheim, his attorney, Pat O'Reilly, what was being done to him, these kind of things.
And who wrote the report? Oza in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and then to no one. They would just make the report. See, they learned when they got raided in 1977 not to put names, not to have specific programs. So these would just come as pieces of paper with the information not signed by anyone, not really saying the names of anyone that we're using, but giving the information. They will put in envelopes, and then someone from OSA would come around and deliver the envelopes to all of the people who were supposed to have it.
That means they drive over from LA to Gilman, 2 hours.
Well, I had an office in LA too.
You had an office too?
Yeah.
Was this your main job, these other things? Or?
It became it because as Miscavige started taking over more and more and more, it became the majority of my job to do legal and look in investigative things.
Mm-hmm. And what was the main investigation job you've done or you controlled? The main investigation?
Well, RTC had its own investigative, which was over all the other investigative units. But then again, like I say, Marty Rathbun in ASI, a for-profit person working in a for-profit corporation, would run the non-profit, the investigative units in the non-profit corporations, and in fact give them their orders.
Barry Minecraft, what's the question? It was about
just a question, but can you try to explain how it works that people are doing things they won't do when they are out, as I think about your experience in this organization, and right now you know what you did and what you let them doing with you. So,
okay, I understand what you're trying to ask me. It's a gradient process whereby you're kind of indoctrinated and you're asked to do things that are illegal. You're asked to do criminal things, in your position. And then pretty soon, you're doing it, everyone else is doing it. It's like part of the job. If you want to be in this position, then you have to start doing these types of criminal activities. And since everyone does it, now everyone is culpable. So everybody keeps quiet about it. No one talks about it. As I said earlier, the people, the hierarchy of Scientology does not practice Scientology as it is written in some of those bulletins.
So what do you think what's going on in people who put people like you or like Stacy in the RPF and let them sleep on wood and with scorpions and use bad food. And did you mean you can learn this to deal with people in such kind of bad way?
Oh yeah, because these, now these people are considered to be enemies of Scientology, and we're even showing them mercy by trying to fix their minds so that they no longer think the way that they do. Yeah, you see that RPF means rehabilitate. That means to change your mind till you go from one point in your mind to another. That's the whole idea. And it was designed from the beginning to be cruel.
A friend of you was Arthur Hubbard, the son of...
Hey, I knew him. I audited him, yes.
And he was also, I think, 2 times in the RPM.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yes.
For what reason?
He's trying to escape.
From where? From
Scientology.
From
Yeah,
Scientology.
see it, yeah.
They put him to Happy Valley.
Yes,
Arthur Hubbard,
yes,
the son of Aaron Hubbard,
yes.
for more than 1 year.
L. Ron Hubbard didn't care about his children. He didn't have any connection, and none of the normal family values, because L. Ron Hubbard thought that everyone was just their own spirit infested with retarded space aliens. There was no family values, no family morals. His wife, his daughter, he didn't care about any of those people. And they never saw him for years. They didn't see him when he died. None of his family was at his deathbed. None of that.
So Arthur was a prisoner of the creation of his own father.
Yes. As well as Diane, as well as Suzette.
But
And as well as his granddaughter, Roanne.
But is she still in Scientology, the granddaughter also?
I can only imagine that she is.
Mm.
So what did you earn when you were inside in the Sea Org? No.
In RTC, I probably earned about $400 or $500 a week. In RTC. But in the Sea Org, $24 a week, $10 a week, $5 a week, $7 a week.
So how can David Miscavige afford such luxury lifestyle? Because
Well, he doesn't make that. I mean, he said he makes $60,000-$70,000 a year.
but his lifestyle is different from your lifestyle you had when you were in Scientology. It's totally different, right?
Yeah, totally. Sure. He lives extravagantly because he's the boss. There's no way to explain it. It's criminal. There's no answer. It's just criminal.
So how, what is the chance to stop Scientology in Miscavige? What's somebody has to do?
Well, without government intervention, very little.
No chance.
Very little.
And you think this will happen?
I pray that it does.
If we go on like this? Hopefully it will. Only two more minutes, yeah. Oh. You had been the head of Incom, of this computer system thing. What kind of thing is that?
Well, that was just in the early 80s. It was a network to organization to computerize Scientology, to computerize its files, to and like we have email today. They had something that they called Mercury, which could put everyone in communication just like the email does.
All organizations, all.
Yes.
And it worked?
Yes.
All secret information also?
No, it was just common information majorly.
But OSA is not going over that income system.
No. I mean, they used it, to type up legal briefs and things like that. And they had encoding systems and different things like that as well.
And you had all those something like a rollback thing to catch a spy in the system.
Another thing from L. Ron Hubbard, in his paranoia. Yeah. I don't even hardly remember it anymore, how they used to even do it. You sit a person and, well, where did you, I remember, like someone says, hey, the bathroom is dirty. Someone would complain. This just is an innocuous example. Oh, well, who told you the bathroom was dirty? Where did you first get that idea from? Tell me the name of the person, and then you find that person, whoop, to the RPF. Yes, that's a rollback. Just paranoid delusion.
So we wish you good luck for the future.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for the interview.
Sure. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can make something good out of it.
I hope so.
Okay, go.